I built a custom Thomas Wooden Railway set based on the episode A Better View for Gordon. I'm honestly shocked this was never made into a set. We did get a limited edition A Better View for Gordon, but beyond that, they never created anything else for the set, which I think was such an amazing episode, one of the most iconic ones, especially of Season 5, that definitely deserved a set. When I build sets like this, I always try to make it as realistic as possible to what I could have seen Learning Curve or Mattel release while they were operating the wooden railway line. So I pick a year, and in this case it's the year 2001. The big feature of the set is Wellsworth Station, and that was available for a very short period of time in 2001 until 2002. And frankly, you could have moved this to 2002, and in some ways it would make sense as a 2002 set, but I thought it would be best to include it in 2001 as you run the risk of them potentially trying to put the roadway into the set, which I think would have been very difficult to do, but with it being introduced in 2002, I could see them trying to do that, so I just avoided it altogether by making this a 2001 set. Now, as I mentioned, the biggest feature of the set is Wellsworth Station, which at the time was the third station introduced to the wooden railway line, and I think it kind of works even though this is not the station that was featured in A Better View for Gordon. That'd be Kirk Ronan. I like the stop sign as a little last resort to try and stop Gordon before he crashes. I also added the single stone tunnel and the water tower. Now usually sets of these size, they would only have two destinations, but I did decide to add a third, so if you want to remove one or the other, go ahead, that's fine with me, but I think they're both pretty small destinations, so I figured let's just add them both to add a little bit more to the set. Now the set of course features Gordon. You can't make A Better View for Gordon set without having Gordon in it, and then I included 2 express coaches. Now that's what was available at the time for coaches, 2 express coaches. Although again, I feel like I'm pushing the limits of the rule, as usually they wouldn't have 2 big items along with a big engine like Gordon in a set like this. So if you wanted to remove 1 express coach, go ahead and do that. But since they were available in a pack, I decided to include them both. I also include Sir Topham Hatt, a conductor, and a signal to add just a little bit more to the set. I also included the 2 fences that are featured in the gristmill with water wheel building, and I felt that of the items that were available at the time, this is probably the best item Wooden Railway had that Gordon could crash into. Now, I guess they're not necessarily needed, but without creating something custom for it, I think this is the best way to do it, so you can at least create something that Gordon crashes into. Now when I make these sets, I try to make them as realistic as I can, especially to what happens in the episode. But I had to make a little bit of an exception, as I have a line that goes through Wellsworth Station. Now of course Wellsworth itself is where Gordon would go and crash, but the line next to it does go through, and I'd like to envision that also as part of Wellsworth or Kirk Ronan, whatever you want to have it in your mind. Either way, that's not what actually happens in the episode, but I feel it's much better than just putting Wellsworth in a siding. With Wellsworth being the main featured destination of the set, I wanted to be involved with everything, and I think if we just put it in the siding, it really would have kind of ruined that, and it just made Wellsworth not feel like a big part of the set when it deserves to be the biggest part of the set. I think this is the first set that I've created that I think is really hurt by not having anything created for it that's a custom for this set. I think there's a lot of ways that this set could be improved if Learning Curve made the decision to customize a lot of the features in it. I would start with Wellsworth Station. Honestly, it was introduced in 2001. I just wouldn't have done that and instead created a Kirk Ronan for this set that would also have a breakaway spot that you can use to crash Gordon into. If they still didn't feel like doing that, I think you could have created something custom that Gordon can still crash into that can just be attached to Wellsworth Station. I think either option is good, but obviously the Kirk Ronan one is so much better. And you actually have an example, as my friend Master the Lemons, aka Lemmy, created this, and I used it in my Better View for Gordon remake a couple years ago. Next, I would replace the express coaches with something like the Edward the Great sets, the Duke and Duchess's coach, that is very close to what Gordon used in this episode, and I think having 1 coach makes a lot more sense for this than 2, and especially having a custom coach a part of this set. And finally, Gordon also needs to be custom for this set. I would definitely prefer to use the Gordon that would be released in 2004 in the limited edition A Better View for Gordon, but I don't think that they would have put an item like that in the set. So instead, if we can at least see Gordon with a surprise face or an upset face, some custom face just for the set, I think that would also add some more realism when Gordon crashes into the station. I think these customs, if added to the set, would just make it that much better. I think it would be a set that would have been highly sought after, and honestly, I don't think it's that out of the question to expect Learning Curve to add these customs in. It would just take it to the next level and would have made it one of the best sets available in the Wooden Railway line. If anything, this is a set I think could have been moved up to being a deluxe set. I think adding James, probably Thomas, some express coaches beyond the ones that would have already been included really would help add even more realism to be able to remake this episode with this set. I think this would be a great example of being able to do that, and if they added all those customs into it, I think it'd be hard not to make it a deluxe set. In the future, I might try seeing what it would look like if they made this into a deluxe set, but for now, when I look at this set, I really do like having Wellsworth Station. I know it's not the station that was featured in the episode, but I actually think this was a pretty decent station that they released and was available for such a short period of time. Putting in a set like this would have made it available for people to purchase for a little bit longer, and I think that item deserved it because it's a pretty decent station. And as I said at the start, the stop sign really is a good addition to remaking this episode. To me, A Better View for Gordon is one of the episodes that deserve to have a set created for it in the Wooden Railway line. I think the set I made here is a really good start, and without making anything custom for it, I think features a lot of good items that were available in the early 2000s in the Wooden Railway line. And that's my custom A Better View for Gordon Thomas Wooden Railway set. Thank you for watching and subscribe for more.